gospel just read is traditionally entitled the Annunciation. That is what the angel did. But you can also give it another title, the commitment. That was what Mary did. The agreement. That was what she said and did. To make a commitment is quite easy. But to live by that commitment is the bigger question. And because we have seen many commitments compromised, many commitments broken, we have become an age that is always doubting, that has weakened its trust for others, because we have seen so many broken promises, forgotten commitments, and shattered relationships. And the first damaged institution when it comes to trust and living by commitment is the family. We have seen many families break down. Why? Because of that generation of broken promises, forgotten commitments, and shattered relationships. My heart bled as I spoke to one teenager who, very young yet, could say, I have no friends. And I asked, why not? And she said, because all friends hurt you. The more friends, the more hurt. I don't like friends. We have entered into that generation when we cannot trust one another anymore, and commitments are expected to be forgotten sometime. Commitment making is easy. Living by it is difficult. And that is where we need the Blessed Virgin Mary. Not just in making commitments, but in living by that commitment. All weddings are beautiful. I hope all marriages will be as beautiful as the wedding day. It is not so. All ordinations are beautiful. I just hope every day of priestly ministry would be as beautiful as ordination day. It is not so. All parties are beautiful. All fellowships are beautiful. How I wish every day of our lives would be like that. And it is not so. That is why our young people could sing, if I did not love, I would not have cried. And even earlier in their lives, as toddlers, parents are confronted by their children saying, you promised me, even if it is just a simple burger or a gadget that you promised, or going out to the mall that you promised, and then you had no intention of fulfilling it, and you just made the promise in order to quiet down the child. That is where the lack of trust, the crisis of trust begins. My dear brothers and sisters, today, on the feast of Our Lady of the Rosary, let us ask her for the gift of faithfulness. We heard her commitment to God given to the angel. Let it be done to me according to your word. It was a simple statement. It only meant yes. She did not say she understood. She did not say she knew what was waiting for her. It was only because the angel said so, and she said yes. May Our Lady help us to make our commitments. May Our Lady help us to live by our commitment, to be faithful. Why is faithfulness important? Why is fidelity important? Fidelity, which is tested commitment. Fidelity which is promises always remembered. Why is it important? Because when we are faithful, we become more human. And the reverse is when we are traitors, when we forget our commitments, we also lessen our humanity. Fidelity makes us more human. Fidelity brings us closer to holiness. And if the perfection of fidelity is from God, then fidelity makes our lives here on earth heavenly. You have heard of skeptics and cynics saying that our lives here on earth are hell enough, and therefore we will all go to heaven eventually. That is a very sad assessment of our lives here on earth. But we can make our lives here on earth heavenly by fidelity. Why? Because when we live fidelity, we live like God. Because that was the covenant of God with us. I will be your God, and you will be my people. I will be your husband, you will be my wife. I will be your friend, you will be my beloved. Our lives on earth become heavenly because of fidelity. To fall in love is romantic, but to stay in love is mystical. Only mystics can stay in love. Romantics can fall in love, but only mystics can stay in love and live that commitment. What more? Because of fidelity, our beloved, with all his or her faults, become beautiful. Because God is faithful, even if we sin, He still sees the beauty in us. Because God is a God of fidelity, even if we fall and get blackened by sin, He still sees something beautiful in us. That is what fidelity does to the eyes. It makes beauty easier to see. That is the blessing of being faithful. Fidelity makes you more human. Fidelity makes life more heavenly. Fidelity makes your loved one who has sinned against you beautiful even more than before. That is why this woman is beautiful, because she is faithful. That is why she could stand beneath the cross and wait for the Holy Spirit with the apostles, because she is faithful. And that is why even if we are ugly because of sin, even if we have fallen, even if we are muddied, even if we look dirty, even if our promises have been shattered and broken, this beautiful mother sees beauty in us, because fidelity gives us eyes to be able to see beauty in everyone. Kaya pa ba nating maging tapat? Kaya pa ba nating panindigan ang ating salita? Mga mag-asawa, kaya pa ba ninyo na ang commitment ay panindigan? Na ang pangako ay isabuhay? Na wakasan na natin ang shattered families and broken homes? Mga kapatid na pari, mga novices, brothers, sisters, kaya pa ba natin na yung pangako na binitawan natin ay panindigan natin? Broken promises, it should not be so. Forgotten commitments, it should not be so. Because the only thing that we need in order to grow in holiness is to be faithful. Faithfulness makes you holier. Faithfulness makes life on earth heavenly. and the faithfulness of the beloved will make everyone beautiful, because it is faithfulness that makes this world go round. The faithful love of God, our faithful love for God, and our faithful love for one another. Dear Lady of Manaoag, teach us to be faithful. Dear Mother of Manaoag, guide us in fidelity. Dear Lady, show us the beauty of fidelity. Look at us with kindness and breathe on us the fidelity that made you so beautiful before the Father.
Manalangin, come on, frontliners. Come on.